Recently, with the chilly days that we've been having, I've been seeing grasshoppers just sitting on the sidewalk. They won't even move when I go by. And that tells me that they're cold and they're trying to absorb the warmth that the sidewalk has absorbed from the sun. And that reminded me of a story by Aesop about the ant and the grasshopper. And that's what I'm going to read to you today. Once upon a time, an ant trudged back and forth carrying food to its underground home. Each time he went to get more, he passed a grasshopper who sat under a shady bush, playing his fiddle. At first the ant enjoyed the music, but when the grasshopper did nothing else all day long except fiddle, the ant began to get irritated. Finally, one day the ant stopped in front of the grasshopper and asked, "Don't you ever have to work for your food?" The grasshopper put down his fiddle and hopped onto a tall stalk of grass nearby. He took a big bite from the leaf and replied, talking with his mouth full, "My food is all around me. I don't have to work for it. Anyway, one should enjoy life. That is something you need to learn." "Humph," said the ant. "I'm not opposed to enjoying life, but what will you do when winter comes?" The grasshopper shrugged. "Winter is a long way off. You shouldn't borrow troubles that haven't happened yet." And he went on playing. The ant continued to diligently harvest food and pack it back to his burrow. Inside his underground home, the ant carefully organized his supplies. He put the grains in his driest room and his molds in the wettest room. He stacked things carefully so nothing would fall on his children, and so his wife could easily find what she needed. In the cool of the evening, sometimes the ant and his family would gather around their anthill to rest. They watched butterflies and beetles making their rounds among the surrounding plants. The crickets and cicadas added their chirping to the grasshopper's carefree fiddle. As the sun set, the fireflies came out to light up the grassy world of the insects, and the mosquitoes buzzed around, looking for some unsuspecting mammal to use for supper. After the ants were in bed, the grasshopper and his friends were still up fiddling around. In the morning, the ant was up and at 'em early, but the grasshopper barely crawled out of bed before noon. This pattern was repeated day after day until the leaves started to turn colors and fall to the ground. By then the ant's stores were full, and the ant had time to help his children with their homework and his wife with the dishes. The fireflies no longer came out at night, but the autumn moon lit the skies. When the nights were mild enough to venture outside, the little ants liked to watch the leaves swirling in the breeze and clouds crossing in front of the moon. They talked to a monarch traveling south and a ladybug searching for late-season aphids. Sometimes the ant would see the grasshopper jumping around searching for food. He didn't have much time for playing because food was becoming scarce. The ants didn't worry about food for themselves because they had plenty stored away. Gradually the days turned from crisp to cold, and the leaves settling down over the anthill turned from gold to gray. All the stalks of grasses and flowers drained their colors and became stiff and brittle. One especially bitter night, there was a thumping at the door to the ant's home. Going to the door, the ant saw the grasshopper huddled miserably against the cold. "Can I come in and have some food?" the grasshopper pleaded. The ant frowned and shook his head. "You can't come in," the ant stated matter-of-factly. "You are much too big. And—" Here the ant paused because he really didn't like to turn a needy creature away. "You are so big that you could eat my children's winter food in just a few days." "I'm sorry, but it wouldn't be right to give my family's food to you and then have them starve." The grasshopper nodded. "You are right, of course," said the grasshopper. "And you were right last summer. I should have been preparing for winter then." The grasshopper turned away from the ants' hill into the blinding snow, and was never heard playing his fiddle again.